Hello guys, welcome back. It's Logical as always, and today I'm doing something that I really don't do all that often, and that there's doing a tier list. Simply because we've completed our support roundups we've completed all the supports that we were meant to be. I was meant to do this ages ago, and then we've done all the mid laners as well, so that'll be another one that we need to tidy up as well. But it was only a matter of time before we actually got our hands into doing these supports. Now there's a few other odd pieces in here that are like could be support, maybe, but we'll just have to wait and see. TEIR's not a support, Zinx is a support, and she's immediately going up into S tier. She is just between everything she has. She can have damage. She has bad medicine. She also has her stun, which can knock most characters out of their ults, which makes her absolutely diabolical. But not just that there, if you're really damn good with her, then you can time her ult really well as well, which makes her downright devious. Quite frankly, just straight up downright devious, so it does. So yeah, S tier's a pretty fair pick. Next up is Argos, D tier. Don't give a shit. Don't fight me on this. He is more of a mid laner than he is a support. You can fight me on this. He is a D tier. I have come to the conclusion that he is a D tier because without him building actually a mage, he does nothing. He doesn't do anything. And because if you're going to use him in a support role, he's got nothing that benefits the support role. But if you are going to use him in the support role, he can't get the feed that he needs to make himself strong because you're trying to feed your carry. So, yeah, no. Personally, that's just a hard pass for me, so it is. Right, next up, Balaka. I'm going to put her into... She's not the best. She's a pretty solid support, just not... I'd put her in B. Don't get me wrong, she is a pretty solid support, but it's just getting her going is the question. Like, that's the big sort of... Like, she doesn't really come tanky like other supports do, but she's more of a utility based. She can have damage, but whenever you're going support, you don't want damage. You want that versatility and annoyance. That's kind of what a support's for. Rector's up next. He's immediately going into A tier between his immediate beefiness, his passive as well, giving him a chunky shield. The rip is definitely the get over here, as well as his ult stun. Just as an overall category, there's a lot more to a Richter than most people sort of give him credit for, to be honest. Muriel is going to go right up next to him because Muriel can be no, I'll put her at the top of A. She is good, but she can also, she has moments where she can backfire. So she really can backfire really badly if you're not careful, because if you ult at the wrong time, you're going to either get yourself killed, and if you ult at the wrong time, you're going to also abandon whoever you're currently helping, which is normally 9 times out of 10 going to be your carry. So kind of that's where I'm looking at here. I think a solid A tier sort of fits her, so it does. Still, as a support, I'm gonna have to give Steel B because he's not as good as Richter. I'm just putting on because the two of them sort of hold the same role. Only difference is Richter can be a lot more damage oriented than Steel, and Steel has a bit more defense with his shielding. But he does, like, he's a very all in character, so he is, which makes him a little bit less useful. No, because but he doesn't really have much in terms of safety, so he's a very all-in fighter, so he is our fighter support. So the thing is, Zinx, you don't need an aggressive carry to play well. Muriel kind of helps with Zinx helps with the aggression, Muriel helps with the aggression. Richter can be annoying because if he can nip the carry, you can delete the carry early. It's that kind of way. Balaka, you can just sort of, again, very passive, very ability based. Still, you're sort of looking for your moment to engage, because if you overextend, you're going to get deleted really easily. So yeah, I think so far that's fair. Norbash, I'm going to have to put him in A. Now, there's a reason why I have to put Norbash in A, and that's simply due to the fact that he, especially see with the new items, he is ungodly consistent and actually downright devious. Between his thunk, his movement speed, his heal, and then his ultimate. Yeah, Narbash, and then because you're going to be building him actually decently defensive, he can be a colossal nightmare. So he can be. He can also be exceptionally difficult to put down if you're not careful. So I will give him a solid A. Who's up next? FaZe has to go into beat here. FaZe is a very... I would lean more to passive than aggressive. You can run or aggressive, yes, but the problem is though is... How do you explain this? Like, FaZe is very weird because she's a backline support, not a frontline support like the others. The others have sort of like initial frontline support. FaZe is more to keep her carry alive, so she's always going to be at the back line of things. And then that's also the reason why she has her giant Kamehameha too. But the thing is that she doesn't actually have any damage to back it up. She basically revolves around keeping the carry safe, which is what a quintessential support should do. But it's a factor of the other ones just kind of do it better, or do it for other reasons. I'd give her the top of beat here to be more accurate. She, like, in terms of put Bellic at the bottom of the bottom of the beat here. At this stage, I'm starting to think Bellic might need to go down into C tier, but we'll see how we go as we continue on here. Right, next up, Decker instantaneously is S tier. Decker is still the poster child for support. So she is. She is the absolute poster child for support. She is downright devious at the best of times and a nightmare at the worst of times. Like, she just has a lot of stuff going for her, between her cage being able to save people, her stasis bomb having nearly unlimited range, and then I think her only weak point is her ult, because you really need to be good at aiming it, which would probably be a Gideon's specialty. But she is, like I said, she just does too much, and she's overall too annoying, and she also has high survivability. She's just one of those players that she's one of those characters that's just really annoying to deal with. Next up, are we done on supports here? We are done, right? Time for a few honourable mentions here. So we're going to run through a few honourable mentions. Where is she? Faye. I'm going to bring Faye into this because Faye actually works really well as an aggressive defensive support. Like, as it says, the way that you build Faye is you sort of just build her partial support, and then you build the rest of her into survivability. And because Faye just naturally has annoying damage and annoying capabilities, she is actually quite devious on the abilities. Like, she's pretty damn good. Like, as an honourable support, I would give her an A tier, so she would, as an honourable support. But yeah, all in all, she has potential in the support role because of her kit. So she does. Anybody else really? I've seen Aurora being used, but I would be more keen to put Aurora in C tier. She's not really support material, to be honest. And from where I'm sitting now, I think that's more or less everybody that I've seen used in support. That more or less ties up. Well, I say it ties it up. I hate the way that this just will not bring this full thing into frame, and it's constantly jittering on me. That's a pain in the ass. But yeah, it gives you it gives you the idea of what we're looking at here. So it is. As a support tier list, I think, like as says, there's arguments for each. So there is arguments. As says, I still believe Zinx and Dacker are definitely S tier. So I do. Muriel definitely holds high A tier. Like if there was like a break point, she would be in like sort of like the A plus tier. She's just not strong enough to get herself into S. And saying that though, yeah, she's just not strong enough. Like, basically, if you take the front row for each of these, bar the bottom two, thanks, each of them have an argument to be an A tier. The ones under them just don't. Like, so Zinx is definitely top of it. It is just the top of S tier. She is just the absolute quintessential support. She is fantastic at it. She does her job. Dacker does the exact same thing. Muriel, again, does the exact same thing, but she is the best of what you have to offer in A tier. Whereas she has shielding, Narbash has healing. Whereas Richter has damage. Like, Richter doesn't really have anything else But the thing is, Muriel also has a solid amount of damage too. Richter just has the ability to pluck people, so he does. Narbash just has raw sustain and movement speed, and Faye has a combination of CC, damage, and survivability if built right. So she does have that potential. Phase, obviously, I would have to say is B tier, simply due to the fact that, again, there's arguments to be made for her to be an A, but unfortunately, the way that the game currently sits, it is what it is, as Phase is kind of falling off a little bit. I'm about to regret that there, because all of a sudden, everybody's going to be running Phase in the next few games. Steel still has, I still like to say Steel has great potential, but it's the fact that Steel... See, now that I'm doing this here, I'm just thinking, Steel, he's a good support, he's just not... I would quicker take Narbash, Richter, or Muriel over a Steel. So I would, but that's sort of where my problem is. Actually, do you know something? Just to make this a simple argument, it means for this here, we'll use the back... Basically... Anything that's in the front, we're going to run with the rule of they are the top of that category, with arguments to be a tier higher. And anything at the back have arguments to be a tier lower. But as I say, Steel would be right in the middle, in my opinion, because he is good. If built right, he can be annoying. If played poorly, though, he is going to get slaughtered. But yes, from where I'm sitting, that is going to be the support, well, my opinion of a support tier list, because I don't really think there's anybody else in here that could be considered a support. Terra, no. Grim, no. Shimby, no. Sparrow, no. Chimera, definitely not. Morrigesh, I've seen Morrigesh support. It's not good. Zars, absolutely not. Quang has his arguments, but like if we were to, if I really was to play that game, I would put Quang there, but that's neither here nor there. Quang does have the potential to be a support. It'll be rough for him, so it will be. Murdoch, no. Crunch, no. Severog, no. Gideon, no. Grooks, I've seen Grooks in support as well, but unfortunately, again, any warriors really going into support would just lean into the C tier. Wraith, no. Drongo, Twin, Kara, Sereth. I've seen Sereth support as well. I've had a Sereth support. Again, C. Greystone, I've never seen that in support. Hats I've never seen in support. Gadget I've seen in support the odd time. Not anything that would be considered great. She does have the annoyance, if you really do want to put her into it. She does have that capability to be annoying, but that's all she really is. She's just annoying. Balika has stuns and burst damage, whereas Gadget needs a bit of time to get herself going. She's more of a pain in the ass than if anything else. And then lastly, I've seen Rampage. Again, realistically, I would put Rampage there. No, there. So I would, because he's just not as good as Grooks. Like, as a whole, he's not as good as Grooks or Quang or Aurora, because each of these three have ways to lock down a target, whereas all Rampage has is his Boulder, which is unreliable at best. So, yeah, like, if like, I know I'm adding in warriors, but fucking hell, God only knows what people are going to be doing these days. So all in all, I will make it very quick, clean and simple. This is my support tier list. That's really all I can say right now, guys, because it's as clean cut as it is. As it says, Argos does not belong in the support role. I don't give a shit when anybody says remove him from the support role. But everything else I do believe is justified until somebody tells me otherwise. But that is how I'm going to sit with it right now. If my opinions change over time, I will come back to it. Until then, no. So guys, I hope you all enjoyed. Please like, share, and subscribe if you didn't enjoy. And remember guys, not everything goes to plan. Bye!